DreAllDay.com.
Dre Baldwin, DreAllDay.com. What we're going to talk about right now is the key difference once we factor in skills, talent, resources, opportunities, information, knowledge, all of that. The key difference between what gets a lot of people to success and a lot of people not to it is application, implementation. In other words, you have the tools, you have the information, you know what to do. Are you actually doing it? That's the question. And the answer for many people is they're not actually doing it, or they don't do it long enough, or they don't do it consistently enough, and that's why they're not getting the outcome. You see, a lot of people like to give the reason that they are not where they want to be as, oh, I just don't have the information, or I just don't, I don't know. I'm ignorant. My ignorance just means not to know. I don't have the information. I don't have the help. I don't have the people, I'm not from whatever place. I'm not connected with whatever individuals. People like to, because all these things that I'm mentioning, and many of you who are watching this have probably said these things about yourself at different times. The reason why people say these things is they all sound good. They all sound acceptable, and they all sound like reasonable reasons why somebody has not yet achieved their outcome. My contention is that none of these is the real reason you have not achieved your outcome. I'm not saying it's not true. Maybe you are ignorant. You don't have the information. Maybe you don't know enough of the right people. Maybe there are some people who, if you were connected with them, you would get more done than you're getting done with the people you're connected with right now. I am not denying that that could be true. But what I am saying is that's not the real reason why you don't have what you want to have in your life right now. That is not the real reason. The real reason is, with the information, with the resources, with the tools, with the knowledge and the opportunity that you do have right now, with the stuff that you do have access to, you are not applying and implementing and using that as consistently as you could or should be right now. So if we want to point out what your real issue is not what you don't have, it's how much you are not consistently using what you do have. And the reason why this matters so much is because if you believe, just think about this for yourself. Forget the fact that I'm saying it. Just think about it for yourself. If you believe that the reason why you're not where you want to be is because you don't have information, resources, access, opportunity, etc., things that are outside of your control, if that's the reason why you don't have what you want to have, you have no power over changing it, which means if it's your problem today, it could be your problem tomorrow and next week and next year and 10 years from now. You could never get the information, access, opportunities, or resources. So what are we going to do? What are we doing? You're just going to go the rest of your life without achieving your outcome? If that's the reason and you truly believe that, then you have no control over your own life. And what kind of people don't have control over their own lives, or believe they don't have control over their own lives? I mean, most of those people, I think we used to call them slaves. People that didn't have control over their own lives. They didn't have any say-so about how things went for them. All right, I don't even know we call them slaves. They might be lower than a slave. At least a slave can think. I mean, a slave can think whatever they want. They might have to go to work, but at least they can think. But if you think your problem is based on everything that is outside of your own control, or something that's outside of your own control, the biggest issue, well, who are you? I mean, you have no self-determinism. So who can help you? Nobody can. You can't even help yourself, according to you, if you really believe that as a reason. But on the other hand, if you're done with all that and you're ready to empower yourself with some self-determination, here's a way that you can think about the situation. The biggest issue in my life right now, this is you talking to yourself, is that I'm not fully utilizing and implementing what I do have access to. Forget about what you don't have. How much are you using what you do have? Now, why does this matter? Again, even if you think there's a bunch of stuff that you don't have, and listen, everybody on this planet, there's a bunch of stuff that we don't have. I don't care who you are, how famous a person is, how happy they appear to be, how much money they got. Everybody needs something that they don't have right now. Everybody, or at least they think they do. So it's not a matter of whether you have it or don't have it. It's a matter of what is the mindset from which you're approaching your situation. Because everybody in life has a situation, okay, at least one of them. But if you put yourself in a frame of mind that my biggest challenge is how much am I implementing and using what I do have, now what have you done? You've done several things. First of all, put the ball in your own court, which means you have control over your own life. And this is what empowered people do, successful people. They always are in this frame of mind. This is not something they have to think about doing. It's something that they do naturally. So those of you who don't do this naturally, I just gave you a key. I just gave you a key right there. Success leaves clues. You heard that phrase before? Okay, I just gave you a clue. That successful people are always in the frame of mind of how can I give myself control over my situation? Even if all they're doing to give themselves control is changing the way they think about it, which is essentially changing how you think about something. All that means is one thing, folks: changing the questions you ask yourself. That's all it is. So anytime you hear me or anybody else say change the way you think about something, and you're like, well, how exactly do I do that? Here's the shortcut. Change the questions that you're asking yourself. If you ask yourself different questions, you will change your thoughts, because that's all thinking is. All thinking is you having a Q&A session with yourself. That's all it is. Change your thoughts. It will change the way change your questions, it will change the way you think about things. Empowered people do this naturally. The second thing it does, besides empowering you by asking you a higher quality question and putting the ball in your court by giving you control over your situation in life, it opens up your resourcefulness. It opens up your creative vision. Napoleon Hill did a whole section on creative vision when he talked about the 17 principles of success. One of them was creative vision, which is not the same as imagination. Imagination is like if I say picture an elephant right now. All right, all of you can picture an elephant in your mind right now. Okay, that's imagination. Everybody has that. If I say picture you getting into a car accident, picture somebody saying something to you that you didn't like. We can all imagine anything that we want. Creative vision is bigger than imagination. Creative vision is taking the visions that are in your mind and then actually strategizing and mapping out and taking actions to bring those visions to life. That's creative vision. It's a whole different thing. Steve Jobs is creative vision. Jay-Z, creative vision. Russell Simmons. These people have creative vision. They got a picture in their minds of something, then they went out and they actually made it happen. Imagination is somebody could just be sitting on their couch picturing an elephant, like I just said. Doesn't mean it's going to happen because you're not doing anything. So what happens when you ask yourself a higher quality question is that you tap into your creative vision and your resourcefulness, because you're asking your brain to come up with some ideas. When I ask my brain, okay, I don't have access to this money. I'm from this place. My parents didn't leave me anything. I don't know anybody. I don't really have a whole lot of opportunities, but what can I do with what I do have? When I ask myself that question, now I'm giving my brain a job. You understand? I'm giving my brain a task to perform. And when I give my brain a task to perform, what does it do? It gets stronger. It's like lifting weights. If you don't use your brain, the brain gets weaker. You ever look at somebody's body? Any of you who don't lift weights, go look in the mirror at yourself. Look at your muscles. You can't even find them, right? You only know where they're at because you can't see them because you don't lift weights. Or work out. Let's just say work out. You don't have to lift weights. But a person who works out all the time, you look at yourself in the mirror, all right? You look at that person. You could walk down the street and see somebody, and this dude's going down a one-way street the wrong way. You could walk down the street and see somebody and tell that they work out, right? Why? You just look at their physique, look at the outside of their bodies. It's the same thing with your brain. If you're not using it often, it looks like a person who doesn't work out. All right, now imagine that. Imagine your brain looking like that. Now imagine a brain being like the body of a person who lifts weights all the time. All right, they're in much better shape. Your brain works the exact same way. So when you ask your brain higher quality questions and you give it a job to do, the brain is happy. All right, the brain doesn't need a vacation, everybody. So you should be asking your brain higher quality questions every day. This should be conditioned in you. I got a book called The Mental Workbook that'll help you do this. If you go to workonmygame.com/workbook and get a copy of my book, The Mental Workbook, because it shows you exactly how to do this. And a lot of people need to learn how to condition their minds to think a certain way. You need a certain baseline of thoughts that will help you on your path to success that a lot of people, frankly, just don't have. But I can help you out with this. This is why I wrote the book. So with all that said, let me end it right there. But I'll talk about this stuff more in the future. Listen to my Work on Your Game masterclass where I go deeper into stuff, and read. My deepest stuff is in my written material, not even in the spoken stuff. So anyway, text me to get my daily motivation. My number is 305-384-6894, and go to workonyourgame.net. Get access, 24-hour pass access to my free training, how to increase your income year over year, go from a 6-figure earner to a 7-figure earner without killing yourself in the process. If you feel like you are killing yourself just to make what you make now, imagine if you can make multiple times that and you don't even have to work 10 times harder to do it. I I can show you how to do that. It's all part of a strategy and a system. Go to workonyourgame.net, get that training taught by me. It's 45 minutes. You get 24 hours of access to the training before it expires. Again, that's workonyourgame.net. That link is down below in the description. Work on your game. Dre all day.